Productivity. Probably the most interesting word to working professionals. How to get more done, how to achieve more in a day, how to do the most you possibly can in a day. Right, before I get to the techniques and what you can do to do more and be actually successful in what you want to achieve in the day, I want to start off by saying productivity should not be the goal. So the goal should always be being effective, right? And how do you become effective? Is by being clear on what is it that you actually want to achieve, right? Having clarity, which is probably the most difficult things to do because you have to use your brain, right? What is it that you actually want to achieve? If it's money, right? How much do you want? How much do you want per month? Truly sit down and think. Do not say as much as I can. Look, if you say that, there is no quantifiable number, there's no end goal to work off from. You have to have a set goal. When you have a set goal, you can work like reverse engineer from that goal and ask yourself, how can I be the most effective I possibly can? Right? So there's four main aspects in anyone's life. Like even for a religious person, like it's religion, health, wealth, relationships, right? Unless you have clarity on each section, you will never ever get to like the thing that you always dreamt of having in each aspect. So again, get clarity on what the end goal is, what is the outcome that you actually want, right? So once you have that, then it comes to a point where how do you be effective? It's not about doing as much, it's about doing as little as possible to achieve probably the same or even more, right? And how do you measure effectiveness? Is whether you are achieving what you wanted to achieve within the time frame that you've given yourself, right? There's a law, I cannot remember the name at the moment, but it basically just says that if you give yourself a certain amount of time to achieve something, you manage to find a way to actually do it within that time. If you give yourself an hour to finish this particular piece of work, you will finish it there. But if you give yourself a week, it'll probably take that long for you to do that. Like if you give yourself that much time. So getting to the techniques now. So after you have clarity on what is it that you actually want to achieve, what you're going to do is this is something I use every single day, right? And I'm not sure if you watched the mindset video that I put out. I basically use this kind of not philosophy, but just kind of a mindset way of thinking. Is that if you look at your life like a 24-hour as a conveyor belt, right? On that conveyor belt are the actions that you're doing every single day. So the conveyor belt is moving, and then you put certain actions. Look back like in the past 90 days and ask yourself, what have you been putting on that conveyor belt? Right? And whatever you've been doing consistently and whatever you've been putting on that conveyor belt consistently are the results that you have right now. And the rule of that conveyor belt is that the results that you want or whatever results that you have are because of 90 spins of that conveyor belt. One spin being a day, right? So what I'm trying to say is, let's say if you want to achieve a certain goal or come to a certain revenue or whatever it is with your business or start a business, whatever it is, you have to do a specific thing consistently for 90 days. Put that specific thing on that conveyor belt for 90 spins for you to get a result. Again, if it's not making sense, please go watch that video. But yeah, how to actually get the things that you want in like done during the day and how to achieve the most that you can, right? So so here's a kind of system that I use every single day. Here's a sheet. It's not really something like it's not magic how it works. It's just pretty simple. You have to write down every single day, have clarity, right? When you see clearly what is it that you actually want, that's when your kind of brain starts working because your brain works off of intentions. Let's say if you wanted to go to the toilet, you wouldn't think to yourself, I'm going to put my right foot forward, then I'm going to put my left foot back. You just give it the intention. You think of the end goal, right? So if you don't have a clear end goal, you will never be able to do the actions that it takes to get there, right? It's just weird how it works, but trust me, if you understand this, it truly is a game changer, right? So what you need to do is every single day, if you write down, I'm not sure if you can see, your 6 month goal, like what is it that you want in all 3 or 4 aspects, right? Religion, health, wealth, relationships, right? Put it here. get clarity on that 6 month goal, and it needs to be the same thing every day, right? You can't change it. So pick what you want in each of those four aspects, write it down every single day, 6 month. Then out of that 6 month, you have to kind of reverse engineer and ask yourself, how can I logically, what actions do I need to do logically from where I am to actually get there? Otherwise, it's just dreaming, right? We all set these macro goals without having like micro action steps to actually get there, right? So what you're going to then do is ask yourself, this week, what can you do? So what we're doing is then, once we have that clear vision of the next 6 months, and the reason we're doing 6 months and not a year, 5 years, is because life changes, your opinions change, the things you want change. So I completely feel like this is pointless setting goals for the next 2, 3, 5 years, right? You could have a clear idea, but what the hell are you doing just setting these long goals without actually having clear action steps, what you need to do right now to get there? That makes sense. So again, we're compartmentalizing 6 months, then a week, and then the day that you have today. Right? Stop worrying about what you're going to do tomorrow or day after. Today, what do you need to do today? And you're going to know what you need to do today by getting clarity on what you need to do this week, right? So 6 month goal in each four aspects, and then weekly goal. What do you need to do this week to make it unreasonable for you to not get there in 6 months' time? What are the actions that you need to do, right? So weekly, then it comes to a point of today, right? The day. So there are needle pushing activities that actually push the needle, and then there's just like activities that you do that are busy work but you don't actually serve any purpose. So what you need to do is ask yourself, are you being effective every day? If you're having to work 10, 12 hours every single day, then you're just not being effective, right? What you need to do is find whether you're actually using Pareto's law, which is 80% of your results come from 20% of the actions. So ask yourself, are you actually doing the 20%, or are you just doing busy work just to make yourself feel productive and check things off the list? But otherwise, you just get burned out, right? The way to be effective and achieve the things that you want is to be very clear on what the 20% of those actions are that actually give you the biggest amount of results, right? So you're going to write down every single day the non-needle pushing activities that you need to do, the ones that you need to do. They're not really pushing the needle towards your 6 month goal or your weekly goal, but there's something just you need to do, but they're not exactly needle pushing. So maximum, I never do any more than six. Any more than six. On a typical day, it's only 2 to 3, right? Not needle pushing activities. And for the needle pushing activities, because over time you understand, once you have clarity on the goal, over time you understand what are effective actions and what are not effective actions, what are needle pushing activities, what are just busy work to actually make yourself feel productive. So then you kind of have clarity on, okay, the needle pushing activities, and again, do not do more than 6, right? Personally, I never ever do more than 6. Otherwise, you're just not being effective. And over time, you'll understand what is effectiveness and not, right? So you write down clearly what the needle pushing activities. I've written down NPA, needle pushing, and non-needle pushing activities weekly and 6 month, right? So you have that clearly laid out at the start of the day before you start work, right? You do this activity every single day. And then at the bottom, what I've also done is using the principle of Kaizen, getting 1% better every single day. So again, when you have clarity on what the 6 month goal is, what you're using is the Kaizen principle and learning one new thing that you need to learn every single day, right? To actually make it unreasonable for you to not hit that goal. Again, to hit any goal is to have the environment and your actions in a way where it will be unreasonable for you to not get that. So if you wanted to get jacked in the gym or get a certain physique or whatever it is, what are you going to do? You're going to go to the gym consistently for 6 days a week, right? For 90 days, right? And you're going to eat well, you're going to exercise. So your environment and actions are in a way where it's unreasonable. Obviously, you're going to gain muscle, right? Or lose weight. So again, it applies with everything. So what we're doing here is we're using this section below is to journal and kind of learn one new topic. So you're going to write down what one new thing you learn, right? And that truly does compound. So if you do this consistently for 90 days, watch how your life changes. And this is exactly what I've used every single day to go from like literally zero, like fully being depressed to actually being so effective where I do not need to work more than 3 to 4 hours a day, and like with the help of Allah, I'm making more than majority people in my life. So and the only reason I tell you that is because all I'm doing is just I have leverage and I know what the effective actions are because I have clarity on what I actually want. So hopefully this made sense. And again, if you do have any questions, I will link down my Instagram where you can just pop down a message if you have any. And if you feel like you're ready to potentially start a marketing agency, or if you want to get into remote closing, which I feel these two are probably the best things that anyone wanting to get out of a 9 to 5, Muslims wanting to get out of 9 to 5 and potentially get more time freedom, financial freedom, spend time with family, practice your religion, right? Do the things that you always wanted to do, are the probably most effective actions that you can do to get the money that you want, right? So again, I will be leaving a Instagram link down below if you want to speak to me on message. But if you're ready to just speak face to face, I'm offering a completely free one-to-one where you can have a chat with me. I'll understand who you are, what your needs are, what your current situation is, and then we'll see if we're a good fit to work with each other and if I can help you start your own marketing agency, or I can help you get into remote closing to potentially make bare minimum 10,000 a month.